Right, first exercise, I'm going to do Jefferson curl. So all these exercises are going to be slow controlled movements, trying to build endurance and capacity when you've got like an acute flare-up of low back pain, or just to do generally to keep you moving throughout the day to prevent flare-ups from happening. So Jefferson curl one I like to use, so basically just bending forward. When you get to a point that it feels a bit sore or stuck, you can take a deep breath and try and relax. And you're basically using the neck, the shoulders, the mid-back, the low back, the hips, and then reversing that. And just making sure you do it segmentally, not just like quickly bend forward, but do each kind of vertebrae at a time. And you've got a side bend. This one might be a little painful, especially on one side if you've got pain on one side. But again, do it nice, slow and controlled. Use the breathing. You can use the leg behind the other and then rotate side bend to the other side. That's going to increase the stretch. Extension now, standing. This one you can keep the neck neutral, you can look back. Looking back might increase it, but we want to focus on the low back. So as long as you're feeling the movement come from there. So I like to place my hands on the hips, keep the knees fairly straight, and just gradually increase the range of motion. Now prone extension, lying face down, you're just going to use your fingertips and extend the back. If you can do it without hands, that's great. You can make it more difficult, put them out front, or you can make it a little bit easier, bring them back. Now you can do a little bit of rotation to hit the muscles that facilitate rotation of the spine. And this exercise is all about building endurance. So a lot of times when you get back pain, it can come from fatigue of the lower back muscles, and so they spasm in order to protect the area. So this kind of builds up endurance and strength, gets blood flow back into those muscles. Now for the side, it's a modified side plank to make it a little easier. Still quite effective. So basically lifting the hips, keeping the knee in contact, so my legs are bent. Nice and slow and controlled. So you contract muscles on your side and then you lift up. And obviously do both sides. And once that becomes easy, once you can do, let's say 5 sets of 5-second holds, you can start doing some leg abductions, which is going to hit the glute as well. Generally, I don't like to worry too much about reps when we're in this kind of acute stage. It's more about movements and, feeling the blood flow, getting the muscles working. And then once you do come to the more advanced exercises, you'll know when you're ready. They won't feel as hard. So eventually working back to your standard side plank. And then if you get really good at that, you can even advance that one, lift the leg. And again, that's going to work a lot of the muscles in the side of the leg and the hip. And then we've got a front plank. This one sometimes hurts when you're in that acute stage, but once you've done the other exercises, once you've built some strength from the back and the sides again, you can try and load this up. And just doing some switches, shifting the weight without rotating too much, and that's going to work the rotation muscles of the spine, the stability component of those muscles. And it's a really good one just for your shoulders, your core, just in general. Now the upright squat, and I sometimes teach this against the wall. You've probably been shown it by me against the wall. And you can do it without the wall. The wall is just a guide, just to keep you upright. So it's good to film yourself once you get good at doing it with the wall, and you can see if you can do it without. And if you're having a bit of a balance issue, you can always put a wedge under your heels. That's going to make the balance easier. You can also hold a weight in front of you. Obviously going to make it harder, but it's also going to make it easier to balance because that's a counterweight. Narrow stance will make it easier, wider make it harder. And that's going to strengthen the low back nicely.